Guys, Monday, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. Thank you kindly for joining us. An absolute pleasure to connect with you through the I Love CVille Network. We're live in Charlottesville. We're live in the Commonwealth. We're live in the country. We're live in the world on the I Love CVille Network. This show is dynamic. You can interact with the program. You can send topics for the show. Good friend of this program, James Watson, sends topics to this show often. And guys, I love it. I absolutely love it. The program is brought to you by Interstate Pest and Service Companies. Interstate Pest and Service Companies, a home's best friend. 4 generations of family at Interstate Pest and Service Companies. Also thanks to Scott Wagner, Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. Dr. Wagner has your back. Sports medicine, physical therapy, chiropractic care. Judah, I'll tell you what, Judah Wickhauer is our director. Before we run headlines, take a look at that screen, Judah, and let's see if we can adjust those lights on the big screen so it's off the I Love CVille reflection. If you've noticed, go to the studio cam real quick, Judah. In fact, leave it on the studio cam while you're adjusting the lights. Just leave it on the studio cam and adjust the lights. If you notice, the set's changed since Friday. We're working hard at this program to evolve and improve the model for you. We've done that by bringing in virtual technology. We've done that by doing interviews virtually that I think are more efficient and effective and allow us to connect with more people. Technology behind us is improving as well. You see 3 different TVs behind us. I'm going to, during interviews with the TV directly behind me, I'll interact with our guests on the TV directly behind us during the interview. And the TVs on the side of the interview screen you see for our fabulous clients. You see Interstate Pest and Service Companies and Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine rotating through. So really excited to put the work in and the effort in to improve. One of our mantras every single day is to wake up and be the best version of yourself. And this is our way of being the best version of ourselves at this set and for you guys. So the only thing I ask in return is if you hit the like button and if you share the show. Why don't we go to headlines? Judah, you're moving the lights. You're doing a hell of a job. It's looking better. Okay, we'll do it next show. Let's go to the first headline. Guys, peaceful protest in Charlottesville, Virginia. So proud of the community. So proud of Charlottesville. Even more this time than the previous weekend. The protest started at the Free Speech Wall and migrated all the way to grounds at the University of Virginia. Estimates vary from 1,000 to 2,500 people. It's really tough in a mass group like that to get a feel for the actual count. Much easier when you're at a sporting event and you're going through a turnstile or a clear entry point for you to count. Anyway, from 1,000 to 2,500 people. You have 1,000 to 2,500 people. It's a broad range, huge delta there. Let's call it 1,000 for the sake of a talk show. If you have 1,000 people walking from the Free Speech Wall in the downtown mall to the Rotunda, down the downtown mall to Main Street, I mean, that makes a statement. Makes a statement. I respect the impact. I respect the speakers at the free speech, at the protest yesterday, where it culminated on grounds and people had an opportunity to speak into a bullhorn. I respect that yesterday's protest was organized by youth in our community. We had young folks in our community organize yesterday's protest. I think it's the youth, and I speak youth, and I guess it's funny to say this, 37 years old, and for me to say the young folks are organizing the protest, it makes me excited for the future. People willing to go out of their way on a weekend to organize, to lead, to set an example. So give Charlottesville props. Give the community props. Pretty much everyone wearing masks. Good time to be a Charlottesvillian. I would expect more peaceful protests like this as we mature through the summer. Let's go to our second headline. We had a little bit in Richmond, a statue torn down and removed overnight. So 60 miles down the road, and I'm not going to go down the road of right or wrong, but 60 miles down the road, Confederate statues are being torn down at night, they're being graffitied and destroyed, and they're being damaged to the point where the National Guard is coming into Richmond and removing the statue that got collapsed over the weekend. So I'm a man of positivity, and when I'm able to see down the road and see here and see that here in Charlottesville, we had a impactful, hugely impactful protest. Strategic, twice, maybe 3 times the size as the previous weekend. The point was made strategically and impactfully, but peacefully. The point is made in Richmond strategically and impactfully, but violently. So as people in this in this network who follow this show, who understand I'm a cautious optimist, I'm a realistic optimist. As a realistic optimist, good job, Charlottesville. Good job, Central Virginia. Good work. Very nicely done. Follow Richmond closely. I think we have still some volatility on the horizon as the capital of the Commonwealth tries to distance itself from the capital of the Confederacy. The capital of the Commonwealth, Richmond, Virginia, is doing its absolute best to distance itself from the capital of the Confederacy. Virginia Tech in the news, headline 3. You know where I'm going to go with this. Virginia Tech has announced its reopening plans. Very clear-cut reopening plans. I'll give you those nitty-gritty details in about 15 seconds. You know, I'm a UVA guy. Best 4 years ever. Orange and blue guy. Wahoo. Thick and through. Love the University of Virginia. Love the University of Virginia. Understand the tremendous impact the University of Virginia has in this Charlottesville community. I've called it all the time the city of UVA, not the city of Charlottesville. That's why it frustrates me that we don't have clear-cut plans from Jim Ryan and the University of Virginia. Virginia Tech today, Monday, a couple of hours ago, formally announced reopening plans for the fall semester. You'll see this on the news. You'll read about this in the newspaper. You'll see this online. We'll probably sharing this information for you. It's prominent. It's impactful. Virginia Tech, unlike a lot of its contemporaries, is going to run a full semester, August 24th to December 16th. Scheduled holidays and scheduled breaks like Thanksgiving are still going to happen. So unlike some of its contemporaries, VCU comes to mind, Virginia Tech is going to run an August 24th to December 16th schedule. Holidays, same. About a third of the classes, they say, will be in person, the remaining 2/3 done online. Virginia Tech said to its student body, it said to its parents, its paying clients and customers, the parents and the students, it said to the community of Blacksburg, the Roanoke Valley, and the New River Valley, here's what we're going to do. We understand the role we have in the community. We understand we're more powerful and more impactful than even city council, than the mayor. President Jim Ryan is, President of Virginia Tech is, undoubtedly. Now, when you go to a Richmond, VCU's impact in Richmond, not nearly the same impact as UVA's impact in Charlottesville or Virginia Tech's impact in Blacksburg. You get what I'm saying here. So I'm going to circle back, dot the I's and cross the T's. I think we need to, it's been a tough 90 days for the president of the University of Virginia, Jim Ryan. And it's time that the school says this is what we're going to do. We have a wedding and event sector that cannot truly pivot and rebound from a pandemic, historical crisis where the business category of weddings and events has been destroyed, decimated, depressed, disgusted, demoralized, devastated. It needs to know what UVA is going to do, and if UVA is not going to open, or if UVA is not going to have sports, or if they're not going to have fans at Scott Stadium for fall football, these hotel blocks can open back up. And then if you're an officiant, or a brewery owner, or a vineyard owner, a venue owner, if you're a wedding planner, a florist, a musician, a caterer, if you do audio visual, if you do tenting, if you do the tuxes, the dresses, the seamstress work, if you're a photographer or a videographer, you have a better chance of pivoting in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter if you know that these blocks of hotel rooms that are still on hold for a potential football season, if these blocks of hotel rooms can open up, and then you can say, look, we can now book these weddings now. Or if the season's going to happen with people, let us know so we can keep moving. Virginia Tech's done it. VCU's done it. Liberty's done it. JMU's done it. Let's go, UVA. Please. Please. It's just straightforward common sense. Next headline. I've been on Charlottesville City Council to open a food and beverage beer garden or dining situation on the downtown mall. And Judah, let's get that Stanton headline on screen. Get the photo. So Stanton City Council, Stanton, Virginia, the city of Stanton and the Stanton Downtown Development Association have partnered together for an open-air food and drink plaza on 4 blocks of Beverly Street. 4 blocks of downtown Stanton, Beverly Street are shut down for restaurants to serve food and drink to customers to expand dining room potential. The side streets, guys, the side streets off Beverly are blocked as well. So you can go to Stanton, Virginia, in its downtown on each weekend. I think it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday type situation. In fact, get the Stanton website on screen. Did you put the photo on screen from NBC 29? Then you can go to the Stanton, the downtown Stanton website. This is the idea I've been championing and pushing for the downtown mall. Stanton City Council has done this exact thing, and it was hugely successful. And you guys want to hear some sad news? And I have this now confirmed by staff at Red Pump. So the first restaurant to open on the Charlottesville Downtown Mall, you had some very strong restaurants like Bashir's open first on the Downtown Mall. You had Christian's Pizza, Chaps, Kilwin's. Those are the first 4 that opened on the Downtown Mall. Christian's, Chaps, Kilwin's, Bashir's. The first big-time brand to open on the Downtown Mall was Citizen Burger Bar and Annie McClure. The second big-time brand to open up on the Charlottesville Downtown Mall was Red Pump Kitchen, which is in the Dean Andrews, Lynn Easton family. I have confirmed with Red Pump and its staff, specifically its marketing staff, the folks that manage its social media accounts, that Red Pump is now going to close its outdoor patio after doing it for 2 weekends. That's from upper management confirming that for me. Literally looking at the conversation I'm having with them on Instagram, with her on Instagram. So, folks, you have a big-time brand with a very, very nice restaurant. You have a big-time brand with a dope, dope, dope patio. And they said, we're going to go 2 weeks and give this a try and see what happens. And after 2 weeks, they said, you know what? Let's throw in the towel. We're going to wait till the fall. That's so frustrating. That's so frustrating. The lifeblood of the mall is restaurants. One of the marquee restaurants in that lifeblood is Red Pump. And they say we're going to go 2 weeks hard and then shut down because we didn't have enough business. That is a direct reflection of the lack of entrepreneurial innovation and entrepreneurial creativity by our city hall, our city management, and our city manager. There was an article in the Daily Progress over the weekend, and I posted it on I Love CVille, the I Love CVille group, about city management and city hall and city council being indecisive about opening streets for biking and pedestrian and closing it for traffic in the early stages of COVID. Read it in the Daily Progress. Read it in the Daily Progress. I posted it on the I Love CVille group if you want to find it. The group. The group is dynamic. Now, after reading that article, I do not think now is the time to shut down corridors of the city for only pedestrian and bicycle traffic. The time to do that was 90 days ago at the start of COVID. Now traffic is getting out and there's car and vehicle congestion everywhere. So if you were shutting down corridors in Jefferson Park Avenue neighborhood or the Fry Springs neighborhood or on Harris or on Fife, that would be bad news bears because people are going back to work. The reason I bring up the Daily Progress article, and Nolan Stout at the Daily Progress does a hell of a job. Someone tell Nolan Stout I said that. Someone tagged Nolan Stout about that. The reason I bring up this article is Nolan Stout says, look, there's an opportunity here presented by middle management in City Hall, and middle management is presenting to city manager and city council a way to be innovative 90 days ago at the start of COVID by shutting down neighborhoods through vehicle traffic and opening up and encouraging pedestrian and bicycle traffic even more. This was at the start of COVID when people were quarantining and people were very scared to be anywhere near each other. So creating more walkable and bikeable space is a good move. They chose not to do it. Not only did they choose not to do it, they just were indecisive. It's a microcosm, the indecision from the city manager and from city council. It is a microcosm of the lack of support we're seeing from them for small businesses in their beloved city. Outside of a couple of micro grants, and outside of open up some parking lots for some dining, some private parking lots for some dining, which we made happen and which we demanded, outside of a couple of micro loans and opening up private parking lots for restaurants to use for dining, nothing else has been done by City Hall for the business community. You delayed the meals tax a little bit, but you still freaking collected it. You've not done the beer garden concept. You have not done the Midtown Street Fair concept. You have not opened up the pavilion for more seating for people to have. You haven't even created signs on the downtown mall to encourage social distancing and a buffer from the walkway and the patio. I mean, I'm getting irritated, and when I get irritated, I sweat. So I need to take this off. Please. I'm taking my jacket off because I'm getting irritated. We have a pandemic of historical proportions where we need to count on leadership to make moves. And from a economic stimulus standpoint, we haven't seen that leadership. That's safe to say. That is safe to say. Next headline comes from a story we've been covering closely, and then we're going to hear from Jody Mills, the Director of Sales and Marketing for Stony Point Design and Development. They're the team behind Dairy Market and Dairy Central. She's also a realtor for Nest Realty. We'll catch up with Freddie Jackson of the Love No Ego Foundation, where I straight up asked his perspective on the murder of George Floyd, and I straight up asked his perspective on the protests in Charlottesville. And Freddie Jackson's perspective, so valuable, so valuable. I've been covering on this program, and Judah, I want to really get to this. And in fact, if you can somehow get the graphic, put the New York Times headline on screen. Look at the screen now. This is from the New York Times. I've been talking about this for a while. Can you somehow get this graphic of the United States on screen, Judah, where the arrows where people are going? So the New York Times did a story about how people are flooding New York City and urban environments. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks on the show. They are tracking, the New York Times was able to track the forwarding address, the mail forwarding addresses for New York City residents. So when you move, you forward your mail. Evidently, the New York Times was able to track that. Listen to this. Are you ready for this? Like and share the show. This is valuable information. So my premise and my thesis is this. COVID-19 is going to directly impact densely populated areas like cities, New York City, for example, more than any other environment. People are going to be terrified to ride a public subway. Can you imagine being 15 people or 20 people in an elevator at one time? Can you imagine taking rush hour subway in the city to get to Phi from the Upper East Side? Can you imagine going from the Upper East to Phi in a subway at 8:30 with so many people around you? People are going to flood the city. They're going to go to suburbia for a little bit backyard, a little more space, an opportunity to build a home that can also function as a work office, a place for the kids if we need to quarantine again. Live, work, play. People are asking a lot more from their home. So I'm going to cut to the chase. My thesis is the cost of real estate in the city of Charlottesville and in Albemarle County is about to increase even more. And why it's going to increase even more is residents from New York City in the Northeast are going to come to Charlottesville and Central Virginia because a lot of these residents went to the school at UVA and got a job on Wall Street. They got an MBA at UVA and then started working at Blackstone, right? Or BOA. Or they started working at BlackRock, right? So these guys got a touch of Charlottesville in the best 5 years of your life. And they said, I want to move from the city. I can't even imagine riding the subway or being in an elevator with 20 people to go to the 16th floor of Blackstone where I got to work for 12 hours. Instead, I have the opportunity to work from this computer remotely from anywhere. The New York Times reported in March, the United States Post Office received 56,000 mail forwarding requests from New York City. In March alone. Oh! That is one of the highest requests since you know when? Since 9/11. 9/11. 56,000 New York City residents in the month of March alone, according to the New York Times, put the article on screen again, change their address from a city address to a forwarded new place of living outside New York City. Shocking. 60% of those requests were for places outside of New York. Get ready, boys and girls. You're going to get a flood of Yankee. Dude, if you even get 2,000 people, right? There's 50,000 people in the city of Charlottesville. There's roughly 300,000 people in Central Virginia. If you get 3,000 people coming from Philly, Northern Virginia, D.C., Boston, or a major metro from the Northeast to Charlottesville and Central Virginia with Yankee money after selling their Yankee home when they're making Yankee dollars, that's going to freaking change the market. You heard it. You heard it. New York Times is backing up what I've been saying for weeks. You straight up heard it. Give a like and a share. Give a like and a share. Ted Norris. Ooh, man, I got to get to Ted Norris. Ted Norris, I'm going to go to you in 20 seconds. I just Skyped Ted Norris. Ted Norris, the master mixologist at Maya Restaurant. He's going to be doing this interview from his man cave at his fabulous crib. And the Ted Norris man cave is one of the best basements in Central Virginia. In Central Virginia. I'm going to ask Ted Norris about Maya Restaurant reopening. It's a patio. I'm going to ask Ted Norris about how Maya Restaurant and my friend Peter Castiglione, who I love, how they've been doing and where we go from here. Judah, I'm Skyping Ted now. I love this guy. I'm going to try to put the interview on the TV behind us, which would be super dope. You think I can do that, Judah? I'll try. Ted Norris.
Jared.
My man.
Man. Wow, you're on fire.
How you living, homie?
I'm doing all right.
Dude, you got such a different angle on the man cave. I cannot wait. We're going to do this at the end. I'm so freaking excited.
I hope it's working.
It's awesome. Ted, you are a steward of the restaurant community. This guy, on a number of different occasions, behind the scenes and in very vocal fashion in the Capitol at Richmond, has fought for the restaurant industry, and he bleeds for this industry. Okay? That is safe to say. We're lucky to have Ted in Charlottesville and in this industry. He's the master mixologist, the bar manager at Maya Restaurant, one of the best guys out there. I'm going to get out of your way. How did this weekend go, Ted Norris?
It went really well. I mean, we opened for the first time the patio on Friday. I'm sorry. We were going to on Friday and ultimately ended up doing it on Saturday. It's a whole different thing. We were kind of learning things as we go. We wanted to wait till we had all our safety precautions in place and knew exactly what we should be doing to make it safe for us and for anybody coming into the restaurant. Actually, nobody's coming to the restaurant quite yet unless they have to use the restroom. We are sticking solely with the patio as we try to figure out our and adjust as we go. But it went really well. We were booked. It's a half capacity restaurant, patio restaurant. It went really well. We were booked solid, and I believe last night also. I think we did even more people.
Judah, let me do this. Judah, if you could stop the gentleman who's our favorite leaf blower out screen. Judah's fabulous. Before you do, if you could go to the studio camera, and I'm going to talk to Ted with the TV behind us through the screen. We're improving, and when we have somebody like Ted Norris on the show, we have to debut new technology because the man's got the most badass basement out there. So I'm trying to keep up with his man cave here on our set. All right, so how about this? I'm talking through the TV now, Ted. Can you give me some insight into what you and Peter and the Maya team did in the last 90 days? You made the restaurant better.
Well, we've done a lot of repair work. We've done a lot of, we did a lot of painting and changing some things. We took out one of the walls that's in front of, that little wall that runs in front of Maya. And we took out one of the little walls closest to the restaurant so we could bring people in, shuffle people in a bigger space. We have the whole restaurant, the whole patio set up in such a way that the tables are a lot of spaces apart, and you could walk on the patio safely and sit where you need to. Reservations specifically right now coming in at 5:30, 6 o'clock, or 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then you have like an hour and a half to hang out and have dinner and drinks. And then gives us time in between reservations that we can sanitize everything, make everything clean. We have somebody dedicated to dealing with all the dirty plates, and those are all sanitized for like 15 minutes at a time, and they're in the tubs before they're taken to the back. We have a lot of safety protocols in place. And it was interesting for me, man, because I'm a bartender, and I've always been a bartender, and I was out there serving tables. I was out there.
You were helping with the delivery, right? The curbside?
Yeah, we were doing the curbside for 3 months. I'm sorry, I moved on to what we're doing now. We were talking about before. I was helping doing a couple of times a week doing curbside, and then going in and making to-go contact going on. And sorry, my phone.
You're a popular guy. People are watching you now. People are watching you on the show right now, and they're trying to interrupt your concentration by texting you. And it's because you are so well liked and loved in this community. Let me throw this. COVID-19 was a textbook example that you can teach two old dogs and Peter Castiglione and Christian Kelly, two old dogs, some new tricks. Because COVID-19 made the Maya family and my boys Christian, who can bench press more than any chef in Central Virginia, and Peter Castiglione, who's fiery and has tremendous vertical quickness. Okay, those two guys had to change some stuff up, and it made the brand better. Let me get out of the way on that topic.
I hope so. I'll tell you what, those guys have been killing it. They've been doing a great job. They've been really looking out for us. I think they've been making so far all the right moves. to do everything they can to push us forward and to help us stay open and to ultimately get through this, which is the goal, obviously, is to make it through this. I mean, nothing is guaranteed. It's scary. It's really scary, but I believe if anybody has these guys, I'm real, I'm proud of them and grateful, that they're doing it, and they're going to do whatever they can to keep their business open. But in the meantime, they've also been making sure that we are okay and checking in on us and keeping us too. And that's pretty awesome.
The three guys I know best at Maya are the gentleman we're talking with now. I know Peter probably the best, and Christian Kelly. And one thing I can tell you about Peter Castiglione, I've played maybe 50 matches of racquetball with him, hung out with him. This dude is a winner. He's fiery.
Yeah.
He's competitive as all get out, and he's a guy that's going to make blank happen. Peter makes.
Man, when he puts his mind to something, man, he's like a bull.
He's like a bull. Peter's like, I literally have seen it. All right, so let me throw this question to you. You're a smart guy, Ted. What is it going to look like? What are restaurants going to look like, do you think? Say 6, 12 months down the road.
6, 12, my God. I actually really don't. I'm hoping 12 months from now that it'll be, back to normal. But maybe with some tweaks that have made things better. But I'm hoping, things are going now, have to be done this way, but they're not sustainable. 6, 12 months from now, we can't be running at half capacity restaurant. We can't. The bills can't get paid that way. We can't make money that way. They can't make money that way. It's, you know how the margins are in the restaurant industry.
Slim.
So very slim. So this is hopefully a temporary thing, and that we can figure out, as we go, the right, navigate what we need to do to get to where we need to be, which is hopefully what it was, but better with improvements that we've learned through this. And I don't know what all of those are. I tell you, one of the cool things that we're doing, and a lot of the restaurants are doing, is we have those little the QR codes or whatever they are now.
Yeah.
And they're on the table, so we're not even giving you a menu. You take your phone, you hold your camera over the phone, and then our menu pops up on your phone.
Awesome.
And that's so awesome. That's so cool. People have it like right there, everything they need. And,
you guys are doing that at Maya now?
Yeah.
That is so awesome. Peter Castiglione, I want to give you a flying chest bump, Peter. You got QR codes at the table and menus on the phone. That is so awesome. Because...
Yeah, and then there's we got a big board, too, that's got Velcro menu items on it that we can take off and remove. It's this huge board it's on the patio, and it's going to be inside when we go inside soon, hopefully.
Let me throw this to you. You and I are glass is half full type of people. I'm maybe cautious optimist here. I think, as a positive guy, this is a platform of positivity. I think we're going to come out of this, and the ones that survive, and I know Maya is going to, you guys are going to be better than ever, because you got the delivery and the curbside piece. That wasn't there really before. That wasn't there before, so you maintain that. You're clearly talking about the menu innovations at the tables, which I think are super dope. Let me throw that top. You guys could come out of here better and stronger than ever. You got the people. We know you got the people.
We have a strong staff, man. Right? We're full of professionals. Most of us have been there for a really long time, front of house and back of house. It's a very loyal staff. Which is great. It's nice to have that kind of core.
We talk about the vulnerability on this show all the time, Ted. Like when this started, like the first week of all this, dude, I was not sleeping. I was terrified. I was like, I got a kid. I got a wife. I got 2 dogs. I got a mortgage. Freaking out. How about some vulnerability from Ted? Talk to us about the vulnerability.
Well, yeah, the same thing. It was honestly, the time off would have been great if I didn't have this huge weight on my shoulder the entire time, and it's still there. To be honest with you, because the fear isn't gone. It's been this been a lot of sleepless nights. It's been, what am I going to do? I've been bartending for 24 years. I've been 18 years since we opened. My career, and not everybody, not just me. I don't want to make this all about me, but if I could just make it about me for a second, because we're talking about how I'm feeling. I'm scared to death for my way of life. That what I do for a living. The only thing I'm good at and that I do is in a lot of danger. Just the whole industry in itself, and in my line of work. It's going to be a long time, to be honest with you, before I have a full bar sitting in my bar again. So I worry, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to, make my mortgage and my Jeep payment and things like that? It scares me, and it, fortunately, my wife is a rock.
I love Stacy.
My wife. She's, when I get down and I start going under, she pulls me back. You will be fine, one way or another. We are going to be okay. And she's been a great source of strength. Yeah, it's been wonderful.
Let's go down that road. You got a lot of people watching, and I love your wife. His wife has come on this show. His wife, a huge ambassador for this community, especially the animal rescue community. She is freaking amazing. Give us a glimmer, because people are loving this right now. You have a lot of restaurant owners watching a lot of your shows. Give us a glimmer into that conversation where you and Stacy are chatting. Maybe it's over a glass of wine. Maybe it's your kitty out by the creek and you guys are chilling and you're having this conversation with her. Give me some insight into that talk with Stacy, because I love your wife. She's awesome.
Well, that's kind of what I sometimes I'm on a roller coaster. I'm positive and I'm strong, and sometimes I get scared, and I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to. Again, what I was saying, I've been doing this for what else I'm going to do if this goes away from me, and I'll talk to her about those things, and she, like I said, she tells me, we're going to be okay. We will make it through this. You're going to be fine. She gives me the, people love you. People will not take care of you. I don't want to say. There are people out there that will. You're going to be fine. I don't even know what.
I know what she means. She's saying this. You are the man, and people are. I'm saying this. I'm going to embarrass you here. People like you. You make people's days better. For 24 years, you have brightened people's day at your bar, and right now, it's a little cloudy in your world. And the people that you brighten their day for 24 years at their bar, those same people are going to be your sunshine through this cloudy period.
Yeah, I think that's what she was. Yeah, exactly. I think that's exactly what she was trying to say. So yeah, she's been able to help, pull me up. Yeah. And the other thing is we've learned, this is the first time in our relationship that we have had dinner together every night.
Awesome.
We've been together 25 years, and we've never had dinner together every night.
I love it.
And what we learned through all this is that, because we've always joked that, we've been together and happy for so long because we never see each other. And that's
of course.
Joke, but we learned through this that, we actually, our relationship is so good that we can actually see each other every day, and we're still good. We've had one argument in the entire time. One. And that's, it was over something stupid that we were able to figure out pretty quickly. So, yeah,
We got one of the best guys in our community, Ted Norris, here. Support Maya Restaurant. Get to Maya Restaurant ASAP. Book a reservation. Sit on the patio. Support Maya Restaurant. Do curbside. Do to-go. Support these guys. I have a lot of people watching, a lot of your colleagues in the business, and I have this Facebook message that just came in for Ted Norris. Jerry, his basement is amazing. Is that his basement, or is that Guadalajara behind him? Let me see your basement, Ted. That looks freaking amazing, dude.
All right. There we go. All right.
Wow.
Let me walk you back. My doors are off my Jeep right now, but anyway, here's my bar. There's my bar. Made out of stuff.
I love it.
Cool. That's my bed. My piano, my instrument area, and
Dude, that is so dope, man.
my workout room.
Wait, how much you benching these days?
I use
Smart man.
weights and things like that.
Smart man. So you're not. I love it, man.
Weights, push-ups, pull-ups. I'm not trying to get big anymore. I'm just trying to stay in.
Ted, you are awesome. You made people's day better today. We're going to rally and support Maya.
Can I say one thing real
Please.
quick? I want to say, because I wanted to add this in when we were talking about times. I also, the bar Monday through Friday, not the bar, but the patio will be open at 4 for drinks, and you don't need a rent. I'll be there making drinks. You come out 4 to 5:30. Come out for drinks and food if you want. And the reservations start at 5:30. And if we don't have any reservations, you can hang out. Otherwise, you might have to move on, or you can make reservations instead.
I love it.
Just wanted
I love it. We'll be there. We literally will be there this week or this weekend. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Jerry, and I appreciate it as always. Your support of the business.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you for joining us. He's got a great basement. Thank you, guys. Like and share the show right now for Ted Norris. Give Ted Norris some props. Give it a like. Give it a share. Keith Smith is going to join us from Lake Monticello and his Zoom studio in about 90 seconds. 90 seconds for you, Keith Smith. How about the innovation from Maya Restaurant? I am convinced of this. And I'm convinced of this whether you're in the transportation. This is literally 113 clients on our roster. 113 clients. And I have said this to the C-suite teams of just about every single client on our roster. This is what I've said. If you can come out of COVID and still be alive, you have a tremendous opportunity to gain more market share due to your fallen and out of business or bankrupt competitors. You come out of this, you're going to innovate in the 90-day period. Maya's innovation, curbside. Maya's innovation, to go. Maya's innovation, forget menus that could be germ-free. Use a QR code and have the menu show up on your phone when you sit down at the table and you scan the QR code. These changes will make the restaurant better when they come out of COVID. They'll gain market share because of fallen comrades, and then the innovation they did in this 90 to 120-day period, on top of the market share they earned through fallen comrades, will push them through to new incremental revenue heights. I've explained that, I think, to almost every client on our roster, and I truly believe it. I truly believe it. I believe it for my businesses, man. I truly believe it. Keith Smith, I'm going to go to now, Judah. Keith Smith is the distinguished gentleman. It's ringing, Judah Wickhauer. I'm excited to welcome the distinguished gentleman to the show. He is the star of Real Talk on the I Love CVille Network. And Real Talk is an insider's guide to real estate, happiness, freedom, and being the best version of yourself, powered by the Yes Team Realtors. Judah, we have him on the line, the distinguished gentleman. You're looking mighty distinguished this afternoon.
Well, pan if you can, your back wall there, man. That is awesome.
It's nice. Let me do this. You're going to really like this. Watch this, Keith. I'm going to put you, and you're going to be here tomorrow. Keith Smith's going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to put him on screen. So when we're asking you questions, you're going to be able to see yourself, and I literally can talk to you here, and we can put it on Studio Cam and have a great time. But let me do this, distinguished gentleman. Keith Smith, the star of Real Talk on the I Love CVille Network. How was your weekend? How are you, my friend?
Awesome. Thank you so much. I was listening to your show, so I just need to tell you I love you, man. You're speaking a lot of good truth there. And it's kind of weird, right, to be into your sitting over there and having masked up. So this is what my face looks like.
I like it, dude. You've been blessed. God blessed you with a good face right there, Keith Smith.
I don't know about that, but I appreciate it. But we went out to Glass House Vineyard on Sunday, and was great to see. We pulled up thinking, maybe it wouldn't be, but it was funny. I did a little prepping for today, and I was just kind of digging into the labor statistics for the 2.5 million jobs. 1.4 million of them were for food service and bartenders. So pass the word, you know, they're coming back. Let's go out and go to Meyer and get that martini. I misspelled martini. That's probably because I had a couple at lunch today, but don't tell nobody on that stuff. But yeah, so we're excited about coming up this week. Some great stuff. We're focusing on home ownership month, and the other thing we're going to be focusing on is maybe you know, the 10-ton elephant in the room and diversity. I've got some great guests coming in tomorrow. Actually going to bring my brother-in-law in tomorrow, and you're going to get a chance to see the Smith-Watson clan. Bring your seatbelts and strap on, because we're going to have a lot of fun.
I love it. So who he's welcoming on tomorrow's show at 10:15 a.m. right here on the I Love CVille Network, powered by the Yes Team Realtors, is the one, the only James Watson. Now, this guy has a background in planning, so he has a lot of perspective he can offer from housing and zoning. You may also know him, and I met him as a mischievous looking for trouble second year at UVA, and James Watson was the barkeep at Orbit on the corner. You may or may not have given me a couple of cold ones, but James, on tomorrow's show, how's the real estate market, my friend?
You know, pretty rocking and rolling. But I'm going to go backwards for a second, right?
I know I am.
Changed. Yeah, so I crunched some numbers on this weekend, you know, just in this 25-mile radius that we're talking about, and it kind of goes to what you've been talking about earlier in the show about, you know, this northeast corridor coming down. Literally, 38 houses went on the market since Friday to yesterday, and guess what sold?
Well,
38 houses.
Really?
So it's about as parity, and it's funny because we'll talk about this tomorrow on the second half of the show. What kind of impacts is a seller's market, buyer's market, and depending on how you talk to, it's roughly 6 months of inventory. From COVID to today, we've been averaging 54 days, but the median is 14. Wow. So we're not even remotely close. You know, this is a seller's market. If selling now, it's time to go ahead and do it. But I'm excited. It takes me a little bit of getting used to it. So thank you for letting me chat with you.
Dude, Keith, you're killing it. The lighting is so good. The lighting is so good. The audio is so good. Your connection is strong. We can clearly do this when you do a vacay. We can do this from vacation. This is obviously working. All right, let me throw this to you here, Keith Smith, my friend. Do we think we're going to get hammered with some Northeasterners moving to this area, you think?
I know. Been here, done this. We lived through this. We've been here since '87, and that's literally, we joke about this on the show all the time. There's a reason why there's gates around Lake Monticello. You lock all the Yankees in, right? So it's going to happen. You know, as you know, we got family there, and it's coming. And you know, maybe we ought to have another side bet, but I'm going to see you're going to be somewhere to a 5 to 10% gross exit out of that. But everybody's doing it, and it's funny. I was looking at the local market. Out of those 38 homes that have sold, most of them are outside the city.
So that tells you people want some space.
That's right. You want a little bit of space, a little bit of safety, but you know, as you know, my wife and I are personal, and we actually are looking hard in the city. So you know, we're city folk. We like the both worlds, but you know, there is a benefit of walking down and having maybe 2 martinis and just walking home instead of having to drive home. There's a huge benefit to that. Loved your first guest, man. I sat at his bar a bunch of times, and it's, you know, you're doing good stuff on here, Jerry.
Can you tell that you are like killing this interview? I mean, you're so chill and relaxed. This is going so well right here.
Yeah, I don't know. We may have to switch.
This is going so well with Keith Smith, the distinguished gentleman.
But look at the wall.
Yeah,
man, that is so.
I'll get out of the way. I can't wait for you to see it tomorrow, Keith. Yeah, it looks really cool. And over here on the side, tomorrow, we're going to have you and your lovely better 7/8s. On the side TVs during the show. Cool. All right, let me throw this question to you, and you're crushing it. And then I'm going to ask you what recap what's going to happen for the rest of the week on your fabulous show, Real Talk.
Sure.
The next 6 months of 2020 in the Central Virginia real estate world. Give me some hot takes. What do you think is going to happen in the next 6 months?
So I think you're going to see inventory go up. We're starting to track it already, starting to go see that, which, as we talked the other day, concerned about our bet. But, I'd rather lose that bet and see inventory go up.
Because you still win in that scenario.
Everyone wins. Everybody
That's right.
wins, yeah. So, I see it turning around, as long as mortgage rates stay solid and, this rocking 2.5 million coming back, and it's freaking awesome to see 1.4 of them are in the area that we need it the most, which is restaurants and bartenders for those of us who like to eat and drink. The second number was which shocked me, was $500,000 in construction. That's a big bump on that. And retail was fourth with 400,000. So I think it's starting to come back. I will tell you, word of caution, just me being me. I'm a little concerned about too fast, right? So we need to be smart about this, and we talk about this all the time. Safety first, Batman.
Safety first, Batman. He's right. This guy is Keith Smith of the Yes Team Realtors. If you need a trusted advisor in the game, whether buying or selling the home, Keith Smith and Yona Smith of the Yes Team Realtors are the pick. I have seen it firsthand. What can we expect this week from your two fabulous shows, sir?
So we're going to be bringing in some rock stars that actually I've got a senator coming in. We're going back and forth. Well, okay. We'll see. We're going back and forth.
I'm excited.
On it. Give me the look. I'm working on it. But definitely, we're going to bring in some folks that specialize in diversity. So we're going to bring a couple of real estate agents that diversify in that. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to get Quentin Beckham to come back to talk about the procedure for open houses or lack thereof. So, that's everybody's mind on that stuff. So, and it's funny, my hat's off to you, brother. You do this every day. I do this only twice a week. And, man, it's a lot of work. So everybody out there who's watching don't understand what it takes to sit in front of that. It is a ton of work just to have a conversation with people and to set it up. But, we're going to talk.
I just got a text message from Judah, the director. Judah, go to the studio camera so we can see the back of your head here. He said, right. Keith is doing really well here.
Oh, really?
You are. You did so well here. I really like that. Do you have a nice light in front of you?
Maybe.
You look like you're like 50 years old, maybe 48.
Well.
Seriously, dude. It looks fantastic.
I'm set up. I got my little
see that
studio up here. I'm good to go. I tapped into that little brain power you guys got over there to set and do this thing up. So, but this is the new world in our business, in your business, right? And you talked about this earlier, and you're spot on. Certain industries will never change, right? You've got to hammer the nail.
A plumber, yeah.
2x4 together, right? In my world, in your world, this other hand, it felt good to go out to Glass House and be around people, and everybody was super respectful. They wore masks. It was well done, and I would encourage everybody to go out and hit our vineyards and hit our breweries, support these folks. They sure as heck need it.
Dude, killed it. Let's cut a couple sizzle reels from this interview to play for tomorrow's show. You were amazing.
I'm without a mask.
You look fantastic. You killed it. Tomorrow at 10:15, Real Talk, powered by the Yes Team Realtors. We'll welcome Keith on the show each Monday to talk real estate and preview the week ahead. My friend, I cannot wait for you to see this morning's hard work over here.
I can see it behind you. I'm excited. I love the little static shot you guys got over your left shoulder.
We're gonna have your logo and the beautiful Yona and the sharp Keith over there.
Cool.
Okay. Thanks for coming on the show.
Man, hey, thank you so much, guys. Judah, thank you.
Thank you, Keith. You were amazing today. Keith Smith, guys, Yes Team Realtors. Listen to and watch us tomorrow at 10:15 on Real Talk on the I Love CVille Network, 10:15 a.m. If you want some insight, like some insider insight on the real estate game, and it's 99% of the people watching the show, if you own a home, that's your most valuable investment in your portfolio. If you want some valuable insight on the most valuable investment in your portfolio, your house, Real Talk, 10:15 a.m. and Friday, 10:15 a.m. Tuesday and Friday. Okay? That's the show. That's the show. We still got to hear from Jody Mills, the Director of Sales and Marketing and Dairy Market and Dairy Central, Stony Point Development. She's also a realtor for Nest Realty. We got a take from Jody Mills, a hot take, and also Freddie Jackson. Okay? And you know what? Why don't we start with Jody? Can you get the Jody Mills sizzle reel ready to play, Judah? And let me know when that's ready to go. So I asked her, okay, we'll do it in a 3, 2, 1 count. I asked Jody, who I have a lot of respect for. I mean, she is a power player. I asked Jody Mills, are you bullish or are you bearish on Charlottesville and Central Virginia in the next 6 months to 12 months? She had a really good take. Judah, let's play Jody Mills in 3, 2, and 1. Next 12 to 24 months, are you bullish Charlottesville and Central Virginia? Are you bearish, long or short, next 12 or 24 months, this community? And if so, why? I'm curious.
So I would have to say that I think that within a 6-month period of time, we'll be feeling much more comfortable. I think that there are some protectors, and we talk about it a little bit in the sense of the university. I know you guys have hit on this before with the recession previously. Sure. We were very fortunate with INJIC back in that time frame to provide a little bit of cushioning the university. I still think there's an influx of jobs coming to the marketplace. I think the outlook or the way that people are going to be in their offices is going to be a little bit different. But go back, Jerry, to the conversations we've had, maybe I think a couple months ago, about all the activity that's coming into place, all the Class A office spaces coming into our marketplace. That's not going to change. We have the partnerships with Virginia. We have a lot of people drawing people to our environment. And I think people will feel more comfortable to get out of Northern Virginia, right? In some of these heavily high-density areas, I think we're going to be okay. I give it 6 months. I don't think I'm as optimistic for the conversation or the competitiveness that you and Keith have, that spring is going to be that market, the fall is going to be the spring market. I think it's going to be a little bit later. I've always been the type of person that says, when it doesn't matter if you put your house on at Christmas or you put it on in the spring. If the buyers are out there and looking and you have your house priced right, it'll sell, right? So, but I don't think it's going to come back that quickly. I think that the inventory that comes on will go fast, but it's going to take us a little while.
You know, for me, I'm very, very positive, very bullish, very long on this community because of the people in the community. The most valuable resource we have in our community is us. And we've been tested, Charlottesville and Central Virginia. We were tested August 11th and August 12th, 2017. We were seriously tested. Remember? Seriously tested. And that test of A11 and A12, the perspective from A11 and A12, I think has served as a foundation, as valuable, raw perspective. A11 and A12. That 2-day period is paying huge dividends right now for Charlottesville and Central Virginia. Hammer the like button and share that show if you agree with that. A11 and A12 have given us a perspective that most communities do not have. And that foundation, that perspective, those 48 hours of volatility, of death and destruction, and the months that followed of recovery and repair, that period is helping the community now. And that's why I'm very bullish on Charlottesville. Very, very bullish. I got Freddie Jackson I want to get to. Freddie Jackson joined us on Friday's show. Freddie Jackson is the founder of the Love No Ego Foundation. Get that sizzle reel ready for us, my friend Judah Wickower. Freddie Jackson is the type of guy where when you're around Freddie Jackson, you get goosebumps, you leave ready to run through fire, and to be the best version of yourself. We welcome folks on this show that embody the mindset of waking up every single day and say, it's Monday, I woke up at 4:42 a.m. today, 4:42 in the morning before the alarm went off at 4:45. And I said, you know what? Monday, what's today's date? Monday, June 8th is going to be the best Monday of my life. And I'm going to do it right now. And when we got here, studio camera, Judah. And when we got here, we did this in the morning, showed up to work early. We did this here as we strive to be the best versions of ourselves. Let's play Freddie Jackson, Judah. Play Freddie Jackson in 3, 2, 1.
The world that we created, man. You know, and unfortunately, like, we created, like, you know, racism. We created, like, dude, really? Because of this? Like, honestly, at the end of the day, that's how I see it, really, because of this. Like, oh, man. Like, we can't allow the ego to come in and destroy everything that we are actually meant to be and do here on this earth, man. We can't. You know, the universe, galaxies, the cosmos are doing what they need to do all by themselves. They don't need our help. You know, it's big. It's super big. It's bigger than what we can imagine, right? And then we have, what's next? We got planets, you know? They're smaller, but they're still big, you know? Then we got, what, countries, you know? They're big, but they're smaller. And then we got us, who think we're bigger than all of them. So that's a problem, you know? So I don't know, like, we have to look at what's true and what's false, and we have to have the courage to not fall into these categories of divisions. Like, dude, I know I'm black. I know I'm black. In this world, I'm black, you know? But before that, dude, I'm human. I'm a child of the Most High. I got a heart. I got an intuition. I got a spirit that I have to follow. And when the universe puts something on my heart like that, you can't deny it, no matter what comes to you, what adversity, what hardship, what challenge, you know? Yeah, we have to fight the good fight. Don't get me wrong. Like, we fight the good fight. That's important. All aspects of the good fight are important. Protest your work, doing I Love CVille work. All that's important. But we can't, like, we have to go towards the greater good together.
I am so inspired by Freddie Jackson. And I feel so, we all should, fortunate that we have Freddie Jacksons in Charlottesville. The man is A-plus people. A-plus people. Let's get to your comments on the show. If you had comments on the show, I'll relay them now. Stephanie Wells Rhodes, I love Stephanie Wells Rhodes on this program, good supporter of this program. She says, I was so inspired by Freddie on Friday as well. We're live on 12 Facebook pages, guys. There is, in fact, a drink called the Martinez, says Ted Norris on the comment section. Keith Smith said, I've had a couple martinis, Jerry. Many from Ted Norris. Kelly Lewis just shared the show. Thank you, Kelly Lewis, for sharing the program. And Jennifer Kopp Warehand, I'm sorry if I'm messing up your last name, Jennifer. Jennifer says, we have to get behind these businesses. We need them more than ever. Amen, sister. Get behind the businesses in this community. Kelly Postel Jackson says, the set is looking really good. Patty Zeller says, the set looks fantastic. Grace is watching in Richmond. She says, Jerry, we're back at the law firm. Of course, your show is on, and we all think your set looks absolutely fantastic. Thank you for brightening up our day in Richmond, Virginia. We miss you guys. We have somebody watching in Roanoke. This is from Tim Ryan, UVA guy that now lives in Roanoke and is watching the show from the Roanoke Valley. Jerry, I love your program. Congratulations on the new set. It looks fantastic. Please make sure you tell your first guest, Ted Norris, that I've had many drinks at his bar, and I look forward to visiting him again when we return for what is hopefully a football season in Charlottesville. Thank you. Thank you very much. I love you guys. I love you guys. Wake up every day and say, I'm going to be the best version of myself today, and watch what happens. When you go in with that mindset, it's amazing how things start to break in your favor. Think about it. I'm Jerry Miller. It's the I Love CVille Show. You guys have a good afternoon.